Next is R.L. Saunders says, can you provide some insight into the anchor text keywords that should be used from tier 2 properties linking to our tier 1 properties, as well as tier 1 linking to money site? Examples would be appreciated also. Thanks, guys. I'm considering purchasing some of the link boosting packages and needing general understanding of the concepts behind this. All right, good question. What I like to do from tier 2 to link to tier 1, which is typically how we're going to, like, if you're buying link building packages, RL, from SERPspace, we don't allow you to submit your money site. Basically, we will only link to tier 1 properties, and that's because they're spam links, right? I mean, we're using spam tools in order to build the links, and so we don't recommend ever hitting the money site directly. We talk about hitting tier 1 properties, and so with that, what I recommend is that you go with broader keywords and also generics and naked URLs. So, and you don't have to worry about that. That's the naked URLs and the generics are all handled by our link building team. But what you do want to submit is the broader term keywords. What I mean by that is, like, if you're doing local, this is a good example. If you're doing local, you don't want to do like the keyword plus the city, because that is typically more like a tier 1 anchor text than a tier 2 anchor text. It doesn't mean that never happens on a tier 2, but it's a lot less frequent, because you got to think of like a bullseye, right? Your money keywords or your bullseye keywords are going to be right in the center. Those are going to be the ones, your long tail. Those are going to be your keyword, your service plus city, or service plus geo modifier, right? So that's a keyword plus local modifier. So those are going to be like the type of keywords they're going to point from that first ring down to the bullseye, if that makes sense. Then tier 2 would be the next ring out. So they're typically going to be broader, and they're going to be more frequency of generic and more frequency of naked URLs, right? And in broader terms, there's going to be a lot less frequency of exact match, because the exact match are more bullseye type terms. They should be tighter or reserved more or less for tier 1, if that makes sense. So when you got to tier 3, you do it even further. You can go up to like market level keywords, right? Industry type level keywords and stuff like that. And then go, again, more generics, more naked URLs. And that's typically how I've always built tiered structures. And I'm pretty sure that that's the way that you should do it too. I haven't tested a lot of exact match on tier 2 or tier 3 in a couple of years, because it just doesn't seem logical to do so. I think it's more of a footprint issue if you do a lot of exact match several tiers out, because it just doesn't really fit what typically happens naturally, if that makes sense. Any comments, guys? Okay.
Oh, sorry, took me a while to unmute.
So none? Is that?
Yep, sorry, man. I think it takes a second for my mic to come back in. Sorry, I was trying to answer a question to something, and then yeah, nothing. Let's keep going.
Okay, all right. As far as tier 1, guys, I recommend that you go with mainly brand anchors, naked URLs, and then you can use some exact match. If you're, but be sparing in that, guys. That's part of the reason, like I mentioned at the beginning of today's Hump Day Hangout, on page is so important, because if you have your on page, your site structure done, and your on page correct or tight, then you can rank with purely brand URLs and naked URLs, and you don't even need keyword anchor text links. And we've proven that over and over again. So again, if you've got your on page, I would recommend that you stick with branded terms, naked URLs, primarily for tier 1 links. Okay. Maybe a few select exact matches, but I would be very sparing in that, because again, you can let your on page tell Google what the page is about more so than the links. All right.